And before we go into the topic of personalization, it would be not fair to do that without sort of saying, that's a very focused topic on websites. So I just want to make some assumptions first. A website has to have the solid basics before you can go and try and do something really strong with it. And those solid basics are, I want you to take as read that it will be beautifully designed. And by that I mean you get a creative local design agency, a little four-man shop that does beautiful skins and makes it look great. So take as read these websites are beautiful. Take as read that they have really simple usability. There's nothing worse than a convoluted, heavy website with lots of clicks to get. So take as read that they're great and they have good search paths on the website. Take as read that the search itself is bulletproof. I mean, it would be if you've done property search at high scale. You can use polygons, you can do draw and map, you can do grid view, list view, and it runs really fast. Take as read that these things will respond to different platforms. If you have a big desktop monitor or a laptop screen or a tablet or a mobile phone, these designs will work well and will respond, responsive design, across those platforms. Take as read that they'll perform really well in Google. That's obviously vital. If this is 30 or 40% of your marketing, your website, then you need to make sure that it's getting out there in the biggest source of traffic, which is Google. Take as read that they give you control to add articles. Take as read that they run blazingly fast, and speed is key on the web. It's key for users. It's also key for your search engine optimization. And take as read that it's backed up by a solid support service. Actually, if you do it through Move With Us, you're using Move With Us's support, and many of you already use Move With Us's websites. So you get the same level of support and customer service. So that's the basics. And having assumed that the basics are good, we're going to move on and get personal. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to tell you 5 brief stories, a couple of minutes each, about personalization on websites. And this is taking the website to the next level. It's really sort of the next generation stuff. So the first story is a story of applicant profiles, and that is basically your consumers, your house hunters coming into your website. I'm going to give you an example of a website in Devon that we do, Stags, which is a big 18-branch agency that goes across Devon, and we're going to run a search. In this instance, it's a search for Truro, properties for sale in Truro. And you can see just underneath each property, and many websites have this, there's a Save Property button. And if you roll over and click that button, it will send the saved property into this little shortlist on the page. You can't see it because they're just screenshots, but the property actually moves across the page and slides straight into a slot. And the shortlist, you start building a shortlist. You can also save the search. So you can say, I'm looking in Truro up to £300,000, and it will save the search to the shortlist as well. And notice you haven't had to give it any personal data at this point. Now, you wouldn't dream of, in your shop, in your branch, stopping someone at the front door and saying, I'm sorry, you can't come in, sir, until you give me a name and address. You say, come on in. Have a look at our fantastic range of properties. Take some of these details, you give them information, you probably hand them 3 or 4 sets of details before you then say, we've got your commitment, now sit down and tell me your name, tell me your phone number. And by putting that information on the outside, and here's the process. So you save those 2 properties, you put them in your profile, you save the search, you put them in the profile, but you're still a guest, you're still anonymous. And eBay were the first people to invent this. They sort of the accountless watch of an auction. So you could watch auctions before you actually created an account. And the odd thing is, it generates more registration when you do it this way. We've tried it both ways. If you put the availability of the ability to engage and get personal with your customers before asking them the question of who they are and registering them, then you get more registrations. So, and once I register, obviously I inherit those properties into my account and it sends me a smart email and what have you. So it's just like the behavior you would do in branch. The second story is the other side of the equation. If we're going to get personal, that's one set of people are your customers. The other set of people are your staff. I mean, you wouldn't dream of hiding your staff out the back room of the office. Well, maybe some of you would, but in general, in a branch, you put your team out front to greet people. It's a personal business. And your website should be absolutely the same. And we haven't really seen a big agency group launch a website without staff profiles being at the front of the website for some time. They're an object in a website a lot like a property. That didn't used to be the case 3 years ago. And this was something we first came across when we were working on the Country Life website. So you can see down at the bottom here on this property, we had the concept of putting Ben, in this particular instance, from Jackson Stop. So putting the staff teams, we saw it first on the Savills and Knight Frank website, and very quickly thought, let's bring it into portals. But having done it on portals, you can also then do it on agent websites. So this is a 1-branch agency down in Truro. And you can see that if you go to the branch page, you get the entire team laid out, and you get their social media integrated as well, which is another part of personalization, is you can actually see Andy Goundry, and you can see his Facebook profile, his Twitter profile, his LinkedIn profile. Some people won't do LinkedIn, some people won't do Facebook. It's totally the choice of of your choice. But when you get to his page, he actually has a page, and that harvests search traffic. I mean, people search for people by name on the web, and so that's actually an entry point into the websites. And websites that have staff profiles on them, because we have some clients who use them, some clients don't use them, but the websites that have staff profiles on them get just over 30% of their inquiries from leads and get 30% more inquiries than websites that don't use staff profiles, which is nuts, but true. Mathematically, you get more inquiries. You can also take those staff profiles and you can put them out on portals. This is Radar Homes, the agent-owned portal I was telling you about earlier. And if we do the same search and we go down into the website and search in Truro, you can get to the Goundries branch page and you can see the same team appearing. In this instance, he's got his Google Plus profile as well. And you can see the whole team and you can see his page and you can look at Weber's and you can see their branches. And as you go across down their branches, you can see teams worth of people in each branch. And you can see that and they're putting their people out front, welcoming people and generating inquiries. So there we go. And there's a young lady called Lucy who we're going to come back to in just a second. So you get the idea. And of course, the agents themselves can build their social media presence. They can build their Facebooks, their likes, their follows, and you can build your search engine optimization by getting a link from strong websites into your link. So this sort of personalization of the web is driving traffic and it's driving search engine optimization links into your website. Okay, our third story is about using email. And email is always the bit that gets forgotten when people come to build a website. Typically, you have a set budget as an agent, you build a website, and the bit that everyone forgets to do is make the email system as smart and as polished and as personal as the actual front end of the website. And that's a big mistake because email is the first contact point for your brand in many instances. If you register someone in branch and you get a search alert set up for them up to 300,000 in Truro, the email is going to be your main point of contact electronically. And so here we've got an example of a small agency in North Devon. I don't know, he's at the back somewhere. and his website, and this is not a product that we actually do together, but I just put it together to sort of to tempt you, Napoleon, to show you what we could do is send emails in your branding. And to say, hi, we're Weber's, you're Jason, you've just inquired about this property. Here's this young lady, Lucy, she's going to be handling it and getting in touch with you. Here's the local branch information. Here's a phone tracking call recording number that you can call us on and we can use for staff training. And here are other properties. So you inquired on our website about property XYZ, but we've had a little think about similar properties in a nearby area. So it's deep personalization, attractively presented in an HTML email that gets delivered to the client seconds after they make their inquiry on the website. And having your email experience as good as your main top of your website is vital. Okay, our fourth story is about interesting properties. And that's about behavioral personalization. And by behavioral personalization, I mean just watching what people do on the website. So think in branch. If someone walks into your branch and starts picking up sets of details at 300,000 and that's at high end for you, then you're probably going to think, oh, okay, that's a high-end customer. I'll go and deal with that one. If they come in and start picking up sets of details for rentals, the rentals team will be sat there in the office, lettings team thinking, I'll go and talk to that person. That's just behavioral personalization in branch. And what we want your website to do is exactly the same. So if you go to a portal, you run a search in Truro, and you can see that even the results set in Truro can pull up people who can help you in Truro. So people are coming even onto the results pages. But then you come back to the home page, then the website should know something about you. It should know that you're looking for properties in Truro at 300,000. And this can work on your own website as well. So you can say, this person is looking at lettings, this person is looking at up to 350,000, this person is looking in Exeter. And the idea behind that is then you can use the design embodiment, doesn't really matter. You can do it however you want to lay it out, but in this particular site you just say, we think you'll find these places interesting. And what that's doing is it's taking a few properties you've looked at, a few properties that are within your search profile. If you save a search profile, it looks specifically within your saved search profile. And if you save any properties, obviously it puts those in the mix, and it mixes it together and comes up with some interesting properties. And the net effect to the end user is just kind of like, well, they sort of are interesting. It's simple on the surface, but there's a lot of sort of engine going on beneath the surface. So there we go. Fifth and final story is about dialogue-based registration. And that's just making sure you ask a very simple question. You've spent all this money, time and effort building the website, driving people to come to the website. You want to make sure you hang on to them efficiently. And that's basically, here's a one-brancher we're just about to launch in Brixham, and you go to his website, you look and do a search for properties, and you find this one particular property at 525,000. And you make an inquiry on the form, and you say, no, hi, my name's Jeremy, here's my phone number, can I go and view this on Saturday? And Does anyone know, hazard a guess, what the next page says on 98% of agents' websites in the UK? Your email's been sent. Then what does it say? Thank you. Those the two messages that come on 98% of agents' websites after this page impression. And then what does it say? Thank you. Thank you. It's like me walking into branch and saying, here's this great £350,000 property, and can I take the details? And David saying, sure, there you go, thank you. That's just nuts. You'd never do it in your branch. You'd say, yes, sir. What's your name? What's your email? You'd register it. So what we do is do a very simple touch. We say, thank you, Jeremy. We've sent you an inquiry. We do the two bits that everyone else does. And then we say, would you like an email alert from our website with all properties within 1 mile of this property between 500 and 600,000? It's just a rough guess, rounded to your nearest rounded units. And have a guess. And those who've been to this presentation before don't answer the question. Just have a yell out what you think. What proportion of people click the yes, please button? 70%. 83% of people click yes, please to that question, which is amazing. So you spend all this money generating inquiries, and you just got to go that one extra step to ask people to actually just register with you electronically, and then you've got them. And then the website can do your job with you and bring them into the branch. So there we go. That's dialogue-based registration. But the question is, fine, that's all great, but does any of this make any difference? So I'm going to show you some stats, anonymized, and I've hidden the numbers here, of launching one of these websites. This is the launch of a website just about a month ago now. And this is the number of visitors coming in the front door. The red line here, and this is daily data, the red line is the day we launched the new website. And that trend has carried on since. But more importantly, this is the average visit duration. This is how long people spend on the website. Look at the jump in stickiness of the website just from doing that kind of personalization. And this is the drop in bounce rate. This is people who walk in the front door, do one page impression, turn around and walk straight back out. Single page bounce ratio. Look at the drop in bounce ratio, which gives you a net impact of pages per visit. People do more steps inside the website, and the net impact on total page views to your website. You can transform the effectiveness of your mousetrap by doing this stuff. And you can make people stick, stay longer, engage more, generate more inquiries, which you can then deal with your human processes on top. So there we go. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Has anyone had an email from me in the last hour? Has anyone put your hands up if you've had an email? Oh, it's working. Email works. So everyone should have had an email with a link to a personal website, which we've built as a demonstration. It's a product that we build with Me With Us. So this is an advert. This is, I was told, we're not selling stuff, but we are selling this, and I'd like you to consider it, which is this is a whole bunch of agents' websites that are not optimized for a mobile phone. And this is a whole bunch of agents' websites which are optimized for a mobile phone. And we've looked at every single person in the room's website, and whether you're optimized or not, and the answer is 50% of you are in the world of non-optimization, and 50% are in the world of optimized. Now, some 24% of traffic will be on a mobile phone, on average, and 10 to 11% of traffic will be on an iPad. So for 1 in 4 of your visitors, half of you are giving them an experience which, we've all been there with the thumbs trying to get in and read the website. And that link in that website should give you a demonstration URL to, and we can chat about it afterwards if you like, to a live website which sorts the problem out. This is my last slide. It's just to show you that you can now build a mobile optimized application that serves over the website. Now, I want to explain what that complex sentence means. There was an old world of building apps. Has anyone built an app for their agency? As in a native, go to the iTunes. Hands up, don't be shy. So about 20% of the room have got apps, and that means you've got to remember your iTunes password, you've got to download the thing, it runs native on your phone. Now, the advantage of an app is it runs really fast. It's really, really quick, it's really usable. It can do stuff because it's using the computer on the device to give you a better user experience. The disadvantage is nobody can be bothered to download an app for an agency. It's one agency, you're not whole of market, it's not Rightmove. So then we switch to the new world, which is building mobile websites. Now, everyone's getting your emails because you're making these nice, beautiful HTML emails and sending them out with matching email alerts, and that's the biggest entry point to a mobile website is emails. That's what's driving the usage on Rightmove's email stats. And so we build a mobile optimized version of our website. But the problem with that world, and that's great because it's immediately accessible, everyone can get at it, you fix the problem for 24% of your audience. The problem is, with that world, it's slow. The pages have to go back and forth and load. It's a page-by-page load model. However, the good news is there is a new world, and that new world takes the best bits of both the old world of the app and the old world of mobile web, and brings them together in a web application. So the whole application downloads in the first page impression. You've got your property detail pages, you've got your staff pages, you've got your results pages, and you can smoothly move up and down inside the application. It runs at the speed of a native app, because all it's doing is going to the cloud and getting a little packet of data. So if anyone's interested, then that's the ultimate personalization is a phone, really, because it's right in your user's pocket, you're delivering them emails, and you can give them a good branded experience on the phone that runs really smoothly as well. So that's it from me. We have